Recent research has brought to light War Cabinet papers that show again the importance of Southampton as the springboard for D-Day and the liberation of Europe. These papers reveal a wrangle at a crucial stage between the Army and Navy over two First World War vessels, described in some quarters as rust buckets, at berth 49 in Southampton's eastern docks. Designed to help alleviate the bottlenecks at the Channel ports during World War I, conventional ships were loaded with bulky war materiel that was unloaded after a very short journey by sea. Roll-on, roll-off train ferries were seen as a way around this problem, and in 1917 the War Office ordered 3 vessels despite Admiralty objections. Although the scheduled start of the new service at the military port of Richborough was delayed, operations began between Southampton and Dieppe, with Train Ferry No. 1 and her sister ships, Train Ferry No. 2 and Train Ferry No. 3. These were the first vessels to offer regular transport between Britain and continental Europe for rail freight vehicles. Amassing the necessary ships, support craft and aircraft to move this force took some time, and following the successful landings had to be sustained. Yet Montgomery's entry into Brussels on September the 3rd and Patton's US Third Army ready to cross the Moselle River on September the 5th, with the possibility of achieving a breakthrough into Germany, put pressure on Allied supply lines, which led to both the Army and Navy keen to enlist the services of Train Ferry 1 and Train Ferry 3. The sister ship, Train Ferry 2, sent to evacuate the Highland Division at Saint-Valéry in 1940, missed a message that the coastal batteries were under enemy control and was sunk with a loss of half a crew. On the 24th of June 1940, the 2 remaining train ferries were taken over by the Royal Navy, who renamed them HMS Iris, later Princess Iris, and HMS Daffodil. Both ships were given a major refit and reconversion to a Thornycroft design and equipped for carrying and launching landing craft via a stern chute. In 1942, the ships were compulsory purchased from the LNER by the Royal Navy for £59,000 each. Both vessels were subsequently used to ferry landing craft from builders to operational bases. Yet it was the older World War I train ferries that were the source of friction between the Army and Navy, which new documents reveal. Correspondence begins with a telegram from Allied Naval Commander Expeditionary Force dated the 15th of October 1944, which refers to a letter of the 8th of October stating firmly that HMS Daffodil and HMS Princess Iris are not an allocation to SHAFE, but were made available by Admiralty to assist in locomotive transportation, owing to representations from the Army that there were insufficient other means to ship locomotives to the continent during the phase of rapid post-assault advance. The Allied Naval Commander Expeditionary Force request their return because they are essential for landing craft transportation, for which the Admiralty is responsible, and therefore cannot be held up for any further discussion of terms. In a reply dated the 20th of October 44 from SHAFE to the Admiralty, they make clear they still need the vessels because Daffodil and Princess Iris, referred to in Admiralty signal, are engaged in movement of locomotives, ambulance trains and other rolling stock from UK. This movement will continue into 1945 and is of utmost importance as supply to the armies is still restricted by rail limitations. According to the memo of the 20th of October 1944 from SHAFE to the Admiralty, there is no other means of transporting locomotives across the Channel. And in an enclosure C to the annex entitled Ways and Means of Executing the Movement of Landing Craft Concerned, suggest a number of alternatives open to the Admiralty, including road transport to move landing craft. This leads to the memorandum of the 26th of October, in which the First Sea Lord appeals to the War Cabinet and Chiefs of Staff, entitled Employment of the LSS HMS Daffodil and HMS Princess Iris, in which he states, on the 1st of August and the 1st of September respectively, the Admiralty lent 2 LSS HMS Daffodil and HMS Princess Iris to the War Office for use by SHAEF in carrying locomotives to the continent. As these two ships are urgently required by the Admiralty for the transport of minor landing craft, the loan was made on the understanding that it should be for a period of about 3 months. The Admiralty are now seeking to call in the loan of these ships, one at the end of October and one in January, but this request is being resisted by SHAEF, who considers that the requirement for lifting locomotives is of utmost importance. He ends the memo by stating that in either case it will be necessary to accept a shortfall on the landing craft movement requirements as a whole, which is bound to prejudice future amphibious operations. In the end, a compromise was accepted, although the correspondence goes to reinforce the old maxim that continental wars need continental railways. Until these documents were discovered, the scope and role played by these train ferries during Operation Overlord was not clearly understood. The correspondence goes to show that planners were not prepared mentally or materially to exploit the rapid offensive into Germany. This was not without its consequences, as the enemy obtained time to build up their defending forces in the west. As well as the documents that have come to light, further investigations have revealed that the berth used by HMS Princess Iris and HMS Daffodil is still in situ next to the new ocean terminal. This berth is now the subject of a planning application to protect it for future generations as a tangible reminder of the role of the port of Southampton during World War II.